Welcome to this lesson where we're going to take a look at the equipment and setup you need for the first stage of the process, which is preparing your substrate. So we're going to be growing on straw, and in order to before you can mix your spawn in, you need to prepare the straw substrate, and that has two elements to it. One, we need to hydrate the straw so that it is full of moisture for the mushrooms to grow on, and two, we need to pasteurize the straw. And the reason for that is you need to get rid of any competitors, the bacteria or fungi or mold that might be on the straw. So once you've got rid of those, your mushroom spawn can then grow on it easily without any competition. There's a few different ways of doing that. The way that we like to do it, the way that we do it here at the farm, is in this huge container which we fill with water and hydrated lime. Now, hydrated lime is it's just a type of calcium. It's used in lots of different ways. So some people think it's a nasty chemical. It's not. It's just an element, and you can also find it in pickling lime, for example, which is probably the easiest place for you to buy this. Now the thing about it is it's a very high pH, and when you add that to water, it raises the pH of the water. Not many organisms can live in a high pH, so it kills them off. When you take the straw out and then add your mushroom spawn to it, the oyster mushroom can live in this high pH environment, so it has an advantage. It can live there, nothing else can, and so it just feeds off of the straw and then eventually grows the mushrooms. So that's how we do it here. It's just in a large container filled with this high pH water. Of course, when we're doing it at home, we're going to find some other ways of doing it in smaller containers like we have over here with the buckets. You could do it in any type of container that you have available to you. There's a PDF below this lesson where we'll give you the proportions and the quantities, how much water, how much lime you need for a certain quantity of straw. But the general principle is to have a container, fill it with water, and to that we're going to add some of the hydrated or the pickling lime, and after that we're going to be dunking our straw in. So the other thing that's quite handy is one of these net sacks which we can fill with the straw, and then that goes into the water. So that's the general principle and the process. There are other ways of pasteurizing straw. The most common other method would be with hot water, where you just fill the bucket or the barrel with hot water, and it's this heat that kills off all the competitor organisms on the straw instead. There's a guide on how to do that below this video if you prefer to work with hot water instead of the lime method instead. So just a quick recap, because this stage is relatively simple. The setup is quite basic. You just need a container of the right size for the amount of straw you want to work with. You need a sack, or you can also use a pillowcase, just something to contain the straw in. And we need our pickling lime or hydrated lime that we're going to use to raise the pH. It's worth having a pair of gloves when you're working with the lime. It just can be irritating to the skin. And the final thing is some scales, which we use to do all the weighing on. That's your setup for this part of the process, and in the next video we'll go on to look at what we need for the mixing and inoculation.